Okay, this is DE, is diatomaceous earth. It's like dirt, but you can see it's also like powder. It's from the ocean, from the fossils. So what you do is that you get a big bowl, and then you put, I forgot where my rice too. You put the rice, say this is the rice, and then you put in this big bowl, and then you put, this is 2 teaspoons in the package. It's good for 1 pound. So if you have 1 pound of rice, you put it inside a bowl, and then you put the rice in there, and then you sprinkle this on top, and then you use a spoon to stir it. You actually like coating this rice with the dirt. So until you think that it's all mixed well, then you can put it in the container. If you want to store in this container, you can put it in there. And then you close it, and those who have the suction, they can suck up the oxygen inside, okay? But if you don't store this way, you can put it in a plastic bag. You can make like 2 pounds a bag. Then you mix the rice and put everything into the 2 pounds and put it in the sealer and seal it, because they're going to vacuum all the air out. So they will stay dry with the DE mix inside. Now you probably say that when you wash it, you will see the DE floating on the top. You can either, dump it. Even if there's some inside the rice, it's not going to harm you, because this DE is a food-grade DE. It's not. There are 2 types of DE. One is for the swimming pool. You don't want to buy that one. Then you buy the food-grade one. There is an animal feed here at the store in Kahuku by the sugar mill. They're selling this, but make sure you ask them, is it a food grade? If it is a food grade, then it's safe for human consumption. In the booklet that we give you the recipe tonight, on the back side, you should have a DE's page tell you that what is it for. When my husband buy these 50 pounds for $45 and less. And the lady said she actually, each day she drink it. She drink it, and then it will kill your worms inside. And the person that working in the home storage center, she actually had the worm come out from her own body. So it kills them. And it's safe to use, okay? So, yes. They said that if you put on the pets, they will have less fleas. But then you also can put around the house to avoid those insects or cockroaches, ants, or rats to come to your property. So what it gets me hard to with the DE is that because it's powder, so you scatter all around. If your dog step on it, then you got all the footprint. And I don't like that. I rather use the vinegar and water to spray, then they will kill the ants. They're not coming because they don't like vinegar. But you can try different ways too. They said this one will kill the snails in your plants. My plant, comfrey, has ants in it. I pour a whole bunch to cover the leaves on it, just to kill it. My husband had taro, and there's ants inside the water. Amazing, huh? They can walk around there. My husband dosed all this powder in there, and it come out this little green stuff all around the water. So I don't know what caused that, but this one is helpful, and this one is safe. And you can store your rice 10, 15 years. Don't have to worry about for quite a long time, because Hawaii is so humid, it's easy to get bugs. Here, this is the rice that you can see some of the bugs inside. My son gave it to me, it was 1 or 2, but now you see that a little bit more, it has grown. So I'm going to pass this around. Eventually, you give them enough time, they will become a little brown or black, and then they will crawl all over. Yeah, if you eat fast enough, then you don't see them, because you're faster than them. But if you let them do it, they will eat your rice and turn into powder. Now, when I measure this cup, 3 cups, Then I put 2 teaspoons inside. They say that 1.5 to 2 teaspoons is enough for 1 pound. So if you put for long term, it doesn't matter. You can put 2 teaspoons in 3 cups of rice. That is 1 pound. Okay? In case you ask them, not this kind of cup. This is the rice cup, not this cup. Okay? Also, I want to mention that if you don't use this jar, you don't use the plastic, you know you had those big 7-Up bottle. 7-Up is greener. Mountain Dew is green too, I think. But they're big one, the liter. If you rinse really good and drain it really good, then you can actually, after you mix it, you can put the rice into that green bottle. The reason I said that green is because it blocks the sunlight so that you don't have the heat on your food storage. If you want to have a good food storage program, you have to avoid the heat. The best is below 70, which is hard to get in Hawaii. So make sure you know that. Okay, I want to talk about rice. You see that a grain of rice is in different colors. Now, how do we get white rice? Anybody know? Yeah, see, this is a grain of rice. They had the hull outside, and then the bran, the second layer. Then the inside is the rice, white rice, and then on the bottom is the germ. So when they polish it, they process it, then they will take out the hull outside, and then you take out the bran here. So this is the white rice that we have. So they take out all the nutritions, and then when they finish, they add it back there. One thing I want to point out that you probably don't know, they put sugar powder into the rice. So they make it a little bit sweet, that you will like it, plus all the other enrichment things, vitamins, they put it back inside. So that's why sometimes, you know, the white rice is actually not a lot of nutrition. After you've polished everything, what you eat is just like carbohydrate. Okay. Now, there are different types of rice. They have long grain rice, and they had a medium grain rice, and they had a short grain rice. Tonight, the Spanish rice, the paella, is using the short grain, arborio. This one here, arborio. I don't know, Sister Lee brought me the rice, but she told me to do that. So when you taste that seafood recipe, you will taste that rice. Okay, and sometimes you see that in the outside the bag will tell you medium grain. A long grain usually, oh, thank you. Now see, this is the short grain one. And that is the rice that she cooked with the Spanish rice tonight. And the long grain is a skinny long one. When they cook, they don't stick together. They separate. Just like Uncle Ben's rice like that, they fall apart. But like when we cook the sushi rice, is the medium grain. The long grain, you have jasmine rice, and then also the basmati. The basmati usually used in the Indian and Pakistan dishes. They have nutty flavor, and for jasmine, it had a floral scent in it. Okay, now the varieties of rice. We know that we mostly are familiar with white rice because we eat that all the time, or brown rice. So brown rice is that you take out the hull, but you have that bran inside there so that you wouldn't take all the nutrients out. Then the other one is a mochi rice. It's called the sweet rice or sticky rice. Tonight we have some sticky rice, which is mochi rice, in dessert or in a regular dish. Now, the other rice like black rice and white rice, they are specialty rice. Black rice used to be a called forbidden rice. Why is it forbidden? Who is eating it? The king is eating it. When the king eats it, nobody can eat it except his family and the royal guests. So if they find you eating it as a commoner, they're going to execute you. So, but we are lucky tonight we can eat that. So tonight Sister Simon is not here, the one that who teach us beans before, but she make us white rice. How she make it is that you take some butter, like 2 tablespoons of butter, and then you melt the butter. You have garlic and onion stir fry in there, and then you add your rice. Can you look at your booklet? The recipe should be in the order that we present tonight. So you chop the onion and the garlics, and then you add the cooked rice, and then you add a little bit salt, and then you stir fry 5 minutes. Then after 5 minutes, then you can eat it. It tastes really good. Now, I want to tell you about this one. This is bamboo green rice. I happen to be in Walmart and I see this green rice. I'm just curious what is it like, so I bought. And I cook it, and then what it is that they extract the bamboo juice, and then you get onto the rice. So that's why it's green. And when you eat it, then you will know the color is still there. Except the color is green, but the rice is pretty much the same. So it depends on how you like the texture. I put a little bit water because I want to make sure it's cooked, but I think you can put less if you think it's mushy. Now, this is the long grain rice. That's the jasmine rice. This is the Thai mochi rice. Thai mochi rice is lighter. When you eat it, you don't feel so stuffy. And the Japanese rice, you can feel heavy. Okay, now this one, I don't know if you ever heard of this one. 12 grain rice. Okay, they have 5, 6 grain rice, 10 grain rice, 12 grain rice. They have 18 grain rice. What it is that you mix all the different grains inside. So then when you cook it, you have the benefit of different grains. So it makes you stronger. But this kind is expensive. Even this green rice is expensive. Azuki bean rice. That's number 2 in your recipe book. This one is a little bit work. For the first night, you soak this recipe. I just follow 1.5 cups red beans. Azuki beans is red beans. And then, of course, after I soak it, it will give me more than 1.5 cups. So tonight, when I put it in the rice cooker, it's 1.5 cup already cooked beans. You folks can hear me, yeah? I don't have to use this, do I? Okay. First night, you soak the beans, wash the beans out, take out all these bad things, rocks or whatever inside. You soak it, and then you change the water and then soak it again. The next day, you soak the rice, 1.4 cup of regular short grain rice, the Japanese rice that we use all the time, hinodi. And then you add 1/2 cup of the mochi rice. You soak these 2 rice together the second night. After you soak it, then the third day, you put the rice and the red bean and the red bean water all mixed in the pot, and then you cook it. And that's the red bean rice. I had a little bit salt in it. I just followed the recipe. So maybe I put a little bit water because it's come up to be like about 3 cups of rice. Then you put 3 cups of water. But I put a little bit. I want to make sure it's cooked. So what do you think about the white rice? And then the green rice, just plain rice. But kind of chewy, yeah? Okay, and then there's the red bean rice. Now, I want to suggest to you, when it comes to famine, normal food, if you had rice and you had the mochi rice, or even if you don't have mochi rice, then you have red bean, you cook it the way they cook, and then you add a little bit salt and a little bit oil. You meet the bare minimum for your survival. Because you have oil for your body, you have salt for your body, you have protein, which is from the bean, you have carbohydrate, give you the energy, so you will be able to survive.